All right, cool, man. This is gonna be part two, right? So it's gonna be part two to the video I was making previously. And as I was saying, like the person that's on drugs and all that shit, like the person that's on drugs, abusing drugs, selling drugs, doing drugs, etc., they're gonna be looking at the person that's telling them like, oh yeah, you know, if you step into religion, you step into Christianity, etc., you'll get saved from your drug addiction and all of this shit, right? Because they never stepped into religion or they never even looked into it. They're looking at this person like, you're fucking crazy. You're telling me that if I get to pray into this Jesus, this person in the sky, I will get off of drugs. They'll help me with my addiction, all of this shit. They're looking at that person like they're crazy because they never researched it. They never experienced it. They never stepped into it to see if it's true or not, right? So if you're a targeted individual and you're telling somebody like, yeah, I'm getting gang stalked, I'm getting harassed, all this shit, they're going to be looking at you like you're crazy, right? Or they could be in on the shit too. And how you know if somebody's in on the shit is if they automatically like deny the shit, like, or not necessarily like that, but if your family, if you bring something to your family and your family's supposed to love you, right? And you tell them like, yeah, I'm going through this and that, and they automatically try to just stop the subject, whatever y'all talking about, they try to just end the shit. You tell them, yeah, I'm noticing that people are doing this and that, and they, oh no, you're not noticing that. You're not noticing that. You're being over observant. How you gonna tell me what I'm being if you're not in my brain, if you're not in this vessel, right? That's something to think about, because these perps, these family members that you're telling this shit, trying to talk to them about what's going on, they could be in on this shit, right? You can have a life insurance policy on you, and they just trying to just keep on playing their role until you unalive yourself or somebody unalives you, and they get this check, right? You know what I'm saying? They get cashed out. You know what I'm saying? It's just shit to be aware of. And and the purpose of this video was to say, like, how many people are unaware of the gang stalking program? How many people are unaware? And because you are aware, it kind of gives you an advantage. Like I told y'all, with the weight in the backpack, you may think that you're just weak. You're not weak. You're not having a bad day. You're not losing your mind. You're being targeted and harassed. Whether it's all spiritual though, right? And it's all spiritual, but whether it's these evil spirits using the government to do the shit, because I tell you all the time, the inorganic species, most of the inorganic species, they're just vessels, because it's in a lot of organic beings too. But most of the inorganic species, they're just vessels to be used by low vibrational spirits, whether it be a fallen angel. Because if a fucking fallen angel pops up and it's a fallen angel floating around, just dark energy, you know, like, this is a fucking fallen angel. I gotta avoid this entity, this person, this thing. It's a fallen angel. It's an evil spirit. I have to avoid it. It's the devil, right? But if it's in the vessel of a white woman, a Mexican woman, a white man, an Asian man, you know, these inorganic beings, and it's easier for these spirits to use their vessel because they're on a lower level than us spiritually because of their genetics, right? Just how black people are able to go through bullshit and still have joy because we have a different genetics on the inside, right? Gives us the ability to be able to vibrate high, right? So at the end of the day, it's all spiritual, because these people that are recruiting the perps, etc., they're just vessels being used, right? And who the fuck is mainly in charge of the government? It's not nobody black in charge of the government. They don't even let black people be Freemasons. It's not nobody black in the fucking Masonic lodges and all that shit. It's all the inorganic species. And these beings were created to do just what they're doing. So how I look at the gang stalking shit, because before I was aware of the gang stalking, I became first aware of the inorganic species, that is two species on the planet. And once I became aware of that there's two species on the planet, I realized that this species does a lot of shit to make you vibrate low. And then I became aware of the gang stalking program, and it's the same shit. It's the same shit. So how I look at the gang stalking program is just the inorganic species doing what the inorganic species does. The inorganic species, if you're not familiar with what that is, scroll down. I believe I have at least 2 videos on my page of me explaining the difference between the organic species and the inorganic species, or just the inorganic species explained, right? Because when and I'm not gonna just be on here on no ignorant shit. But from my experience, all of my gang stalkers have been inorganic beings. I've had a couple experiences when I've been in LA where it's black gang stalkers, and I'm aware that my family was in on this shit too, because obviously they're black, right? You know what I'm saying? They have to, you know what I'm saying? Obviously my family's in on this shit. Yeah, well, obviously they have black people in on this shit if they have a whole fucking family that can place you in a perps, right? But the reason for me saying that is not to be like, oh yeah, this and that, to sound the type of way, to sound ignorant. I really don't give a fuck though. You know what I'm saying? Respectfully, I don't, right? And for my species, you know what I'm saying? And my species be going through this shit too. And I'm here to raise the frequency as well as here for my species. So, and let me not get lost in the fucking sauce, right? Let me not do that. From my experience, from me putting two and two together and even realizing that I've been getting gang stalked in the past, has always been the inorganic species. Maybe because it's easier to convince them to do some shit like this, to go around fucking with people. It's been a few times where it's been black people doing this shit too, right? But I have to. It could have been more times with the black people doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, what I see with my targeting, it's all the inorganic species. You know, all of the people that are not able to take the sunlight because they have a different genetics. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they're targeting me because of the different genetics, but they're not able to take the sunlight due to their genetics. And also due to their genetics, it's easier for low vibrational spirits to inhabit their vessel and make them do bullshit, so they can continue to cause that low vibrational energy. And this low vibrational energy has been on this planet before you were here, before I was here, right? So this is what it is. That's why the gang stalking shit is even here. You know what I'm saying? But the whole purpose of these videos was to say, like, and I don't want to keep on talking in it run out of space again, but it's just crazy how many people are unaware of the gang stalking program. They're not aware of this shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not aware of this shit. And if you're aware of it, that should let you know that you're not an NPC, you're not a bot, that you're obviously doing something right. You're obviously doing something right. You're obviously here for some type of powerful reason that they're scared of. If they would have a motherfucking helicopter, you know how much, like, you have to put gas in that shit. Like, so these people are, and I'm thinking like, cause and I saw another video with a targeted individual talking about how they had a helicopter following them around everywhere. And that shit had me dying laughing. And that nigga was laughing too. I was just like, damn, these motherfuckers is burnt out. Like, nigga, a helicopter? Like, you got to put gas in that shit. You have to have a pilot that went to school for years to learn how to fly a helicopter. And this nigga, like, think about like this. The gang stalkers, right? Like, motherfucker, you went to school to be a pilot and all this shit just to fly a fucking plane over me while I'm working out, doing push-ups in the park, nigga? What the fuck? And you're successful in this world? And just think about this, the world is a stage. The world is a stage, bro. For a motherfucker to fly a helicopter over you and have the police pull up, try to show their presence to intimidate you, that just shows you, like, this shit is crazy. The world is asleep. And you would say this shit, they'll be like, oh, no, this and that. But it's like, why the fuck, why would I want that shit? I wouldn't want that shit. I don't want this attention. You know what I'm saying? I don't want this attention, motherfucker. This shit is really happening. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you, like, this world is crazy, bro. How many motherfuckers is asleep? How many people is asleep? And I was once asleep to not know that this shit was going on. But once you start realizing this shit, you start putting two and two together. Like I told y'all before, like, if you was smelling weed your whole life, but you didn't know it was weed until you start smoking weed, and you'd be like, damn, that's what that smell was. So you'd be like, damn, so they was smoking weed too. So, like, damn, they was smoking weed. Like, you start putting two and two together, right? You realize you're in a gang stalking program where they're doing certain shit to get a reaction, and you'd be like, damn, so my family was in on this shit too. Because they doing the same shit that these purposes doing. You put two and two, you start realizing shit. And you realize, like, damn, this world is fake. Like, have I ever even met my real mother? My real father? You know what I'm saying? You start asking all type of questions. You know? So it's just crazy how many people do not know about this program. And it's even crazy that I'm even saying this shit like that I know. Because it's crazy like how I didn't know about this shit. I didn't know about no fucking gang stalking. I'm getting harassed. I'm getting into it, motherfuckers in public, smacking motherfuckers with skateboards, all type of shit. I'm getting in trouble. People take me on my character and I'm reacting. And I'm not even knowing that, nigga, you're getting targeted, being harassed. Because the world is fake. Got the police in on this shit, all type of shit. You be in surveillance. You go in the grocery store. They experimenting us when we go in the grocery store. That's a separate video. But they have ways to measure the CIA has ways to measure your energy coming off your aura. So if you go into the grocery store and they got a bunch of perps in the grocery store and they just doing all this shit to see how you gonna react, they can measure your aura. Just like they have that heat sensor shit, that body heat sensor shit when somebody running from the police. You could be in the store, you radiating these different colors off your aura. You got these high vibrational colors off your aura. Violet, blue, all these high vibrational color, purple, all this shit, right? You get in the grocery store, and then you got these perps in the grocery store running into you, bumping into you, doing their little punk ass tactics, and then they see that now you exhibiting these different colors off your aura. Now you got red, these yellow, orange, these low vibrational colors off your shit, right? They can measure that shit with the heat seeking shit, right? You know what I'm saying? So you can be in the grocery store and they just experimenting on you, right? And they probably do it to anybody that's vibrating high. So if you an inorganic being and you feel like you're getting gang stalked, you might just be getting gang stalked because you're trying to vibrate high. And I can guarantee you all of your gang stalkers are going to be your species. So let me break this down. So for people that are unaware of these terms and these words that I'm saying, if you are an inorganic being, you are white, Asian, Hispanic, Dravidian, or Arab, or any of those groups within that race, those races, that species. For instance, you're Caucasian, they have Italian, they have fucking Russian, all of this shit, right? So Caucasian is the vessel or the main race, right? And then you have Russian, all of the different races in between the Caucasian race, if that makes sense. It's like you have Hispanic, then you have Latin, you have motherfucking, Puerto Rican, and some of those are actually black, but I'm just trying to make an example. Like Puerto Rican, you have, it's a better example for Asian. You have Chinese people, then you have Asian, Korean, all this shit, right? So if you're an inorganic species, if you fall into any of those categories, I can guarantee you that the people that are gang stalking you and harassing you are more inorganic beings, being more white people, Asians, Hispanics, Arabs, or Dravidians. They're more inorganic beings, right? Especially if you're inorganic, if you're Caucasian, etc., you feel like you're being harassed, they're not going to put nobody black around you. Because you can call the police on somebody black, and the cops going to pull up against the black person. They're going to put your own species around you. You know what I'm saying? They're going to put the inorganic species around you to do the bullshit. But I honestly do not believe that there's any inorganic beings being gang stalked. But I don't want to say that and sound ignorant, because it could be. Because you vibrating high. But I know my people are being gang stalked because we have a different genetics. And they want to fuck with our energy, stop us from manifesting, because with our neuromelanin, if you are an inorganic being, if you're a white, Hispanic, I don't give a fuck if I'm saying this shit in the government, because the government already know this shit. If you're a white, Hispanic, Asian, etc., you're somebody on this planet that has that straight texture hair. Your hair is not nappy and woolly like black people, right? And our hair is only not nappy and woolly because we do not have any animal DNA. But if your hair is not nappy and woolly, right, you're an inorganic being. And I can guarantee you that whoever's doing the stalking is somebody of your similar genetics, of your structure, right? Of your vessel. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to get too off topic with this video, and I kind of lost my train of thought right now a little bit, I feel like, because I felt the energy leave that I was feeling when I was speaking on what I was speaking on. But it's just crazy how many people are being gang stalked in this program, man. If you're being gang stalked in this program, you're aware of this shit, you have an advantage. Now you know you're not losing your mind, you're not going crazy all of this shit, right? Because it's a lot of people that don't have a YouTube. They're not able to go on YouTube. They're not able to go on the internet and see what's going on and see that there's other people talking about this shit. They just feel like they're losing their mind until they unalive themselves, right? Because they don't have no help. They don't have nobody to talk to about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you being targeted, you know, if you a targeted individual from one targeted individual to the next, because I'm being targeted for sure. I see this shit every day from one targeted individual to the next. I would like to thank you for making your videos and explaining the tactics that you deal with, the one headlight tactics. I see the one headlight tactics too. Motherfuckers flying helicopters over you while you working out. Like, you doing all of this shit. So let me just get right. I appreciate the target individual community for making their videos and bringing awareness to this gang stalking shit, because you say you helping to save lives, right? And it was a point in my life dealing with this family I was placed in, that I was about to unalive myself multiple times, right? And that's what they wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm aware of this program and all this shit, I would never have those thoughts again, because I know this is what you motherfuckers want me to do. Unalive myself, right? So y'all got helicopters flying over, helicopters, the police trying to intimidation tactics. You got the headlight shit. You got people in public bought it out in the store, paid actors trying to sync with you and go by the fucking, you want to go over here and get some ginger or some fucking apples. Now you got these I'm not even gonna say what I really go in the store to get, because I don't want these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, on the bullshit. And same time, if you going through the gang stalking shit, don't be so quick to just hop online and be like, yeah, they doing this, they doing that, they doing it, document it. You know what I'm saying? And just pop out with it randomly. But don't be so quick to just, because that's how they know that their tactics are working on you. If they using a headlight and all this shit, or whatever they using, and you constantly pointing it out and making videos, venting about this shit, I'm talking to myself too, because I get on here sometimes venting. You know what I'm saying? Ranting and shit, right? But it's not good to do that, because then they know what's working. They know what's going to get a reaction out of you, so they're going to continue to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I thank the target individual community for making videos and making content so more people can see this shit. All these tactics they do in the grocery store, you have paid actors all in the, like, is any of this shit real? What the fuck is the point of me trying to be successful in this world if this world is fake? I might as well just do my own shit, right? Live life how I feel like it's successful in my eyes, right? Because successful in the eyes of our oppressor or the powers that be is some bullshit. Gang stalking, all this shit's crazy. So to the people that are making the videos, the target individuals, I thank you for making these videos, because I wasn't aware that I was getting gang stalked. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of other people out here that don't have access to these YouTube platforms, these internet platforms, that are going through the same shit, that end up unaliving themselves because they don't know that it's the government, it's these fallen angels, it's the inorganic species doing shit to make you vibrate low. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna make this shit too much longer. Just, if you getting targeted and you are aware of this shit, you have an advantage, because you know that you have a 45-pound weight in your backpack that's making it harder for you to do this shit, right? Just like I told y'all, you go to school every day, you have a dumbbell in your backpack, a weight in your backpack that you're not aware of. You just think your backpack is heavy. You think you're weak. You're not weak. You just have this extra baggage. You have this extra weight on your back. You know what I'm saying? You're not weak. You just have a fucking government, a whole organization of Freemasons paying these fucking NPCs, these bots, to get at you. Besides that, you have these low vibrational spirits that know who you are, because we come from the spiritual realm. So these motherfucking spirits, they already know you was kicking ass in the spiritual realm. Now you in the physical realm, trying to bring more awareness to the spiritual realm. So they like, damn, we gotta attack this motherfucker. We gotta gang stalk this person. You have to understand, we come from the spiritual, especially if you are a organic being, nine ether, right? We come from the spiritual realm. So these low vibrational spirits, they already know who we are. They're like, damn, this nigga got a body now? Fuck. This nigga gonna be, because the spirits and the low vibrational spirits is feeding off the negative energy, right? So you incarnate into this physical reality. Now you have a body, but you're a righteous spirit. In this evil world, you incarnate into this physical reality to kick ass, to bring awareness to the spiritual realm. That is low vibrational spirits feeding off of our energy. And these spirits know that shit, that you here to kick ass. So they gonna try to use these vessels of the inorganic species, whether it's the Freemasons, right? Because these spirits work for the devil. These spirits work for Satan, right? So these spirits gonna use the government, the Freemasons, etc., to get at you because they know you powerful, you dangerous threat, right? Whether it be you're a threat to the spiritual realm, but this system feeds a lot of negative energy into the spiritual realm. Whether it's through the food, whether it's through you fucking working the job over and over just to pay for your bills and natural resources, and you giving off that loose. This system feeds a lot. This system, this simulation feeds a lot of negative energy into the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to get too deep and get to talking about going down another rabbit hole. But the whole purpose of this video was just to say, like, so all my target individuals, y'all probably feel like this too. It's crazy how many people do not know about this program. Or maybe they do, but it's like everybody's not a fucking gang stalker, bro. They're not. A lot of people are NPCs. A lot of fucking people are NPCs. And that shit is crazy. Like, a lot of people are NPCs, so of course they don't fucking know about no gang stalking. Of course they don't know, because then they bring their thing like, who the fuck are you? You're not a celebrity. But the celebrities are they already got God. They already got God. You can't get God. That's why your ass is getting gang stalked. You would be that motherfucking celebrity speaking out. They think your ass is crazy. You be that one-hit wonder motherfucker. Make one hit. You know what I'm saying? Then you get to speaking out. Then they like, oh, that motherfucker fell off. He ain't fell off. He motherfucker didn't want to drink no baby blood. You know what I'm saying? So I can make this shit too much longer, y'all. Just want to tell y'all, man. And I'm making some more videos about what you need to do. Because, like, it's a lot of shit you got to do. And it's a lot of shit I do that I try to do to try to deal with this shit, right? That I'm learning that I need to do to deal with this shit. Because they do witchcraft, all type of shit on you, right? So you have to find ways to combat this shit and protect your frequency. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna make this video too much longer. Hope all y'all vibrating at a high frequency. This just to say, like, it's crazy how many people don't know about the gang stalking shit, bro. And if you know about it, you have an advantage because you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So you should look at it like that instead of being like, oh, I'm getting targeted, this and that. Because the world is asleep. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up. But at least you know what's going on, right? Compared to people that just thinking they're losing their mind and then they eventually unalive themselves because they don't have no YouTube to go on and see that there's other people going through the same shit. So they just keep on going through it till they can't deal with it no more. Then they get depression, then they get medication for depression, all this shit. And it just turns them, puts them more on that low vibrational energy until they just completely surrounded by these spirits and they end up unaliving themselves. And the spirits feed off of that dark energy. You know what I'm saying? So I hope all y'all vibrating at a high frequency. I'm gonna make this shit too much longer. I said that hella times. Hope all y'all vibrating high. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace. Just know if you're getting gang stalked and you're aware of this shit, you have an advantage because you know what's going on, right? You know what's going on. So hope all y'all vibing high. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.